Okay, welcome back. I'm in the dungeon. Oh, nice dodge. Nice dodge. I think I have to. It's better if I like angle at the camera. Maybe, and I don't know. I'm gonna figure out how to. It's a little weird that I'm not looking at straight like this. I have to look over here to see the TV. But I'm getting there. There was a hurricane, Hurricane Dorian. I live in New Jersey, so it didn't really affect us. But I guess I never really thought about it too much. But it's interesting how the country is geographically just how it is. North Carolina kind of sticks out into the ocean, and it actually protects us from hurricanes. I never really thought about that. But like, if North Carolina wasn't sticking out, the hurricane would have continued up right into us. It would have went up like through Maryland or Delaware. I think. I mean, I'm not a meteorologist, but it seemed like it was heading right for us, and then it kind of didn't want to hit the land, or it wasn't getting energy from the land, or whatever. So it kind of veered off to the right. Am I doing this right? So the only way a hurricane can hit us is kind of if it goes up towards North Carolina, but then it kind of curves back, and then there's another, like, I guess it would be like a high pressure system up here where it pushes it back into us. That's happened a couple times. That was like Hurricane Sandy did that, and Irene. Those are the two that I remember. Wait. I want to go up. But it was super cloudy today, which is cool to see the hurricane clouds. Yeah, Hurricane Sandy was probably the worst hurricane that's hit us since I've been alive. When I was younger, there was a Hurricane Floyd that I think I was in first grade. But I remember we got a day off of school. I think. So that made me happy. I remember the backyard being kind of flooded. And I remember just staying in. I remember, for some reason, I have a memory of watching The Secret of Nim when it was raining. That might have just been a different memory, but I like to think about that. I watched that movie recently, and it's really good. I like it a lot. I think it was on Netflix for a while. When I was a kid, I think it kind of was a little bit scary, like for a 5-year-old or 6-year-old kid. But it's so well animated, and I like the story. Yeah, so for Hurricane Sandy, we just lost power for, it was like a week and a half or something like that. And I couldn't get to school, I remember. I tried, but they were... Like, I tried a couple days later, and there were still trees everywhere, and it was crazy to drive around in that. Probably took some pictures. But thank you, North Carolina, for taking all of our hurricanes. Because otherwise we would get hit all the time, I feel like. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if North Carolina wasn't there, it would still veer off. Doesn't seem that way, though. I do... It's not... It's not very... I don't know how to say it. It's not very... It doesn't make me likable to talk about. But I do... I know hurricanes are terrible, and they destroy so much stuff, and they kill people, and they're... You know, would be better if there were no hurricanes, but it's just kind of exciting when you, like, a strong hurricane, and you're... I like to track it, and... I think most people do. You always, I don't know, you always hear, maybe, I feel like most people, they always talk about the storm chasers and the people on the news. My dad always says, like, look at how excited these people are getting, isn't it dumb, and look at this. Like the Weather Channel, isn't it? Don't they know people? This is terrible. People are dying, and like when there's a big snowstorm, I kind of sometimes I get excited, like a nor'easter. Mostly because I still get that feeling like I'm gonna get off work or I'm gonna get off school, and it's just nice to have a day off. Even though at my job now I have to use my vacation days for snow days, but it's just nice. It's like, I don't know, an unexpected day off. I guess most people feel that way, but I know my dad doesn't. He hates the snow. Maybe he just really likes his job, which would be nice. I don't like my job, so maybe that's part of it. Yeah. If there was a really bad hurricane that came through and everybody lost power and it was hard to get to work, I would get the day off. So that's part of it. But I also just like looking, like, is this the strongest hurricane ever? Is this this is category 5? What's the pressure? Stuff like that. It's, I don't know. I know you're not supposed to like that stuff, but I like looking at all that stuff. I mean, how could you not? It's like it's the most powerful weather system on Earth, and it's just cool to look at. It's hard not to be interested by that. Like I was watching a YouTube video a couple days ago, about some storm chasers, and they were inside the eye wall of Hurricane Michael or something, which was a Category 5. And it was so cool to see. I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe I would have liked to have been a meteorologist. That stuff's kind of interesting to me. I don't know what jobs there are for meteorologists. Is it just weatherman or is that it? What else can you do? I didn't have a lot of notes this week, so why did I take that thing off? I need more buttons. It's not enough buttons. I guess I could jump to another topic. I mentioned before that I bought some stocks. I don't know. I remember when I was in college, I think like a finance professor I had mentioned something about mutual funds and index stocks or whatever. What am I supposed to spend my money on? So I had some money saved, and it was just sitting there. So I was like, I have to invest this, and I kind of Googled it, like, should I invest in an index stock? And I think Warren Buffett was like, you should invest 10% or something. I don't know. so I index stocks are the most stable stocks, blah blah blah, whatever. So I invested in an index stock. It's like it tracks the S&P 500, so you're like, okay, the S&P 500 goes up over 20 years, and then you'll make $30,000 or something. But I just read an article, maybe it came up on my phone for some reason, about how there was an article, this guy thought we were in a bubble because people were buying too many index stocks. And so for example, people are buying too many S&P 500 index stocks, so those companies are getting overvalued, which causes a bubble, and then bubbles are not good. I tried to talk about that before. I don't really fully understand how it works, but like with the .com bubble in the early 2000s, everybody wanted to be a part of a new website and a new online company, so they were getting all this money, and they were starting a bunch of companies, and people were buying stock in them because they're like, oh, this new website company, like being on the web is big now, so I want to be on the ground floor of this new company. So they would buy a bunch of stock, and then when it turned out that I don't know, doggrooming.com didn't make it wasn't worth $100 per stock, then people started selling, and then it would started to get back to what its true value should be, I guess. And that sudden drop down causes like a panic, and then people start selling. That's kind of how I understand it. Did I start recording? Gotta keep remembering to do that. There's a lot of stuff to keep track of now. I got that, dude. I might not even be recording the video. It might not be working. I don't know. So maybe I'll just do the audio again if the video's not working. This is the first time I'm doing it. So I don't know if I'm supposed to... If we go in a recession, wouldn't it be good to sell my stocks until we get out of it? That's something that I don't understand. It seems like people say, just keep your money in through recessions, and just 10 years it'll go back up. So, but it'll go down first. So shouldn't I sell? Especially if we're in a bubble. It does seem like stocks have been going so high for so long that maybe we have to be in a bubble. And that's kind of what this guy was saying with an index fund bubble, is that people like me, they have extra income and they're just putting it into an index fund because that's what you're supposed to do, and that's overvaluing these companies. That the index fund is tracking. So once the market corrects, it'll cause a recession. And recessions are bad. Did I hit it? Yes. Okay. I think a lot of people think, well, the market has been good for so long that eventually there has to be a recession, so it's going to happen soon. But I think there always has to be a reason for there to be a recession. Like there was the dot-com bubble, and then there was the housing bubble. And I remember this guy saying, some economist was saying, well, I think he said that, like, there has to be a reason. So, and there's no indication that we're in a bubble now, so you don't have to be worried. But it seems like it's impossible for anybody to know when we're in a bubble while we're in it. Otherwise, we would try to fix it, or once we start going into a recession, people wouldn't panic because they're like, oh, there isn't a bubble, so I don't have to sell. Was that all that is in this room? I think, I don't know. I spent so much time in this room, and I didn't do anything, I guess. Oh, I got a key. So that's why. Let's just try one more topic. So yeah, basically, I don't know if I'm supposed to sell. When am I? Or even if I'm allowed to sell, I don't know. I bought this index fund. I don't know if they'll let me sell it. Maybe I'm stuck in it for 10 years or something. There's a treasure chest down know if I can get to another note. I started rewatching The Walking Dead, the 9th season, and I did really like those first 4 episodes. I'll talk about it more tomorrow, but I rewatched the Rick episode where he leaves, and it felt like such a missed opportunity. It wasn't satisfying for me. I did like at the end that they decided not to kill him. I thought that was kind of fun, a fun idea. Some other people I think didn't like that. But they announced before the 9th season that he was leaving. And I thought that was kind of weird at the time. Like, why are you announcing? This show is all about, anybody could die at any minute, and that's the whole point. But do you have to go into these for them to open? Yeah, you do, I think, right? No, I don't know. No, you don't. So I like that they kind of faked you out, because they made a big deal. Like, this is Rick's last 5 episodes. And so you thought he was going to die. But he doesn't. And I think that's a cool idea. They did the same thing this summer with Michonne. She announced she was going to leave. And I was thinking, why stop telling me? I don't want to know. Why are you telling me? So I think they'll probably do the same thing with her. She won't die. She'll just leave. I need to find a key door. There's one. Yeah, I'll talk about it. Yeah, I can end now. It's probably been 15 minutes. I haven't been doing a good job of keeping track. Nah, stupid thing died. Okay. See you tomorrow.